Hi, hello. I'm glad you're here. I am starting a podcast. So, what's up? I'm Abby Donaldson, and welcome to Life Romanticized. Since this is my first episode, I thought it would be fitting to tell you about myself because I know exactly what you're thinking. Who is this girl? I have no idea who she is. She is some random person, which I totally understand because that's true. I am a random person. I have 730 Instagram followers. I don't have a following. I'm not an influencer. I have YouTube channels because, I'll get into that later, but I do like making videos, but I have at most 70 subscribers. Um, I have a TikTok like every other 21-year-old, but again, I have 300 followers, and all of those followers were from when I had the app when it was called Musically. And I know exactly what you're thinking. Yes, I was that person. Indeed, I am a normal person, just like you, just like everyone else. But the reason why I am making this podcast is because I feel like I have a lot of wisdom and I know a lot of stuff. I have a lot of experiences. I I've just always been a very analyzing person of myself and of everyone around me. I self-analyze. I analyze everything. Like when I walk into a room, I am the one observing and analyzing everything and everyone. I'm also very self-aware of myself and even of other people. I I'm really good at helping other people go through things, kind of like being a therapist. Obviously I'm not, but I've just I've had a natural talent for just helping people through problems and figuring my own problems out just because I've been so self-aware, and I've been like that my whole life, and I just have a lot to share. I have a lot on my mind. I don't know how common this is, but my mind is always racing. My mind and brain always racing. I'm just constantly thinking about stuff 24/7. I can talk for hours about most topics, especially deep topics. I love getting deep. I am the friend who will sit down and have a 2 hour conversation about why someone behaves a certain way, or another person's personality type, or why do certain things happen to me. I can just get so deep and I love it. I love that stuff. But it doesn't even have to be deep. I can talk about a certain film for hours and why this film made me feel like this, or even music. Two of my biggest passions are film and music. I will talk about this another time, but I can go so far into depth about why a certain song can really just make me feel something that I can't even describe, or only that song can make me feel like this and nothing else. It's crazy, but I love it. I've always been a very self-aware person. I've just always had so much wisdom, and I'm so inspired by life, and I just love being inspired by so much. I take that inspiration and I bathe in it. I bathe in the inspiration that I find and I see, and all the wisdom and knowledge that I learn about anything and from anyone, from just anything in general. I take that and it sits with me for a long time. And I just want this podcast so I can share my thoughts and feelings about anything, because I need to talk. I need to talk about it. I need to talk about it with someone. I usually don't. I just don't have a lot of people in my life who I can talk about these things with. And it's to the point where I'll just either talk about it with myself, talk to myself, or I'll just think about it in my head. That's why I'm saying my mind is always racing, because I'm constantly thinking about things, just anything, anything. I can sit down, and I do this all the time, and I don't know if this makes me crazy. Actually, I'm not crazy, because I think it's healthy sometimes, but I'll go to my couch and sit down, and if I have something that's it doesn't even have to be bothering me. It could be really anything that I just want to think about more. So I will go and sit on the couch, sit there for an hour. An hour will go by of me just sitting there thinking about something. It's not like a negative thing. Most of the time, it's just something I want to think about. And explore more. It doesn't even have to be about myself. It could be anything. It could be a concept. It could be about something else. I mean, honestly, most of the time it is relating to me, but that's just like the beauty and the gift that I have. Like, I can literally just think about something, sit still, you know? My eyes aren't even closed. Like, my eyes will be open. I'm really curious what it looks like when I'm like this, where I'll just get so caught up in my own mind, in my own head, that I can sit for so long and just dive into my head, dive into my thoughts, dive into my beliefs, into my opinions, just into everything. And I love that about myself. I really do, because it has allowed me to like get through my own issues and problems. And yes, talking with other people, it does help. It really does. Okay, that was a really long intro, but I wanted this first episode just to be about myself and background and history, because like I already said, I love background and history, especially about people. Because why would you just click on a random podcast and you have no idea who this person is? Like, you don't know who I am. And I'm sure if you want to actually keep listening, you want to know what my experiences were, what I'm like, who I am. Because I know I would. So I'm just going to get started. I don't really know what exactly I'm going to talk about, but like, I don't have a plan. I don't have anything written down. I just hit record and started talking. So I'm going to let things flow, and I'm just going to start discussing myself, and I'll start from the beginning. So I'm from San Diego, California, born and raised. I'm 21 years old. I go to San Diego State University. I'm about to enter my 4th year at the school, so I'm about to be a senior. I'm majoring in film production. So you already know there's going to be a lot of episodes about film. So get excited for that. I'm super hyped. I actually used to be a music major. So when I was a freshman, freshman year, first semester, I was a music major, and I switched to film my second semester. And, you know, I don't really got to go much in depth about why. They're just two of my passions. So I basically just realized that I actually wanted to do film, but the funny thing is it's not that easy, and it's a lot more complicated about what I actually want to do. You know, I grew up a pretty normal life. I have good parents. I have a good sibling. I have one brother. He's 2 years older than me. We've been pretty close my whole life. I mean, yeah, we fought a lot growing up. Like, I mean, a lot. But we always have been friends. And, you know, to this day, like, we're still close friends. And I'm really happy about that. Yeah, so, like, growing up, I had friends. I did sports. I was always really active. Loved the water. Loved just, like, moving my body. I loved school, honestly. Like, yeah, I was like every other kid who didn't want to wake up and go to school. But at the end of the day, I actually secretly loved it. I always had good friends. I had good health for the most part. I had a pretty traumatic thing happen my 8th grade. I broke my arm really, really, really badly. Like 2 bones badly. And I had 2 surgeries from it. And I'm talking about this because this was actually a very life-changing event, because it just made me view everything differently. Like, my whole perspective on life changed. I know that's so silly coming from someone who just broke their arm, you know, a lot of people break bones. But the reason why is because it messed up my whole world. Like, I was in band and I couldn't play my instruments. I just like couldn't do anything. So it stopped everything. And basically how I got through that was I just kept telling myself everything happens for a reason. And I've adopted that quote and kept it here my whole life. There was no reason to be mad or sad, because there was nothing I could do about it. It was all out of my control, you know? Like, why should I sit there and be angry that I couldn't play my instrument, or that I couldn't shower properly, or I couldn't run around outside? So I just kept telling myself, you know, this happened for a reason. And it's not something I regret, because I learned so much from it. And every little tiny detail in our life is supposed to happen. And it got me here, and it made me who I am today from that experience. So it was very scary, but After that, I went on to high school, and I know a lot of people didn't have good high school experiences, but I actually had a really good one. Like I loved high school. Nothing really bad happened. Like yeah, I went through a lot of stuff, like I feel like everyone does. Like loneliness and not having a lot of friends, not fitting in, not being confident. I'll talk about this stuff in future episodes. But for the most part, I had a really good high school experience. Now I'm going to talk about band, and I have to because band's a huge part of my life. I've been in band since fourth grade. I've been playing trombone since fourth grade, and I've been playing piano since first grade. And I play other instruments too. Like I recently actually started playing guitar. I can play baritone. I used to love the drums, even though I can't play it, but I'm gonna still mention it. I picked up the clarinet once. Yeah, so I'm just a very musical person, very creative in that sense because I used to like write songs and short stories when I was in elementary school. I've always loved writing. Now I really, really enjoy songwriting. I'm actually in a band. It's very new. We just started it a couple months ago, and it's summer break right now, so we're not all together. So we're not rehearsing, but we're all practicing on our own. And I just realized how much I love making music. I love writing and making music. That's one of the reasons why I became a music major and obviously switched. And I'm actually a music minor. I know I didn't mention that because the music minor isn't going to stay. The reason why I can't be a music minor is because if I stayed a music minor, I would get delayed graduating, and I want to graduate on time, so that's why I can't keep it. But, it doesn't really matter. I just love creating music, whether that be on my computer, like through MIDI, or just creating songs on my guitar or piano and making them into something a band can play, which is what I'm trying to do now. And I get to do that with my friends in my band, and it's been so much fun, and I'm really excited for what's going to happen with that. Speaking of passions, my other passion is film. And when I say film, I mean more like making videos, videography, even photography, because photography and videography is kind of the same thing, except one is a still image and one is a moving image. So I just love taking pictures and taking videos. Ever since I could remember, I've always had a camera, and I've always just loved capturing moments and making memories and recording myself and making weird videos on iMovie. And then that developed into me majoring in film production and wanting to go into the industry. When I was in high school, I wanted to be a director, but that kind of has changed after actually being a film major. It changed like the direction I want to go to. I still have no idea what I want to do. I enjoy editing. I enjoy cinematography. I think I like directing, possibly producing. I really don't know. Like I have no idea what I want to do and what I like the best. So right now I'm just telling people that I want to do videography, and I keep saying this, but I think it would be so fun to like do videography for a band and go on tour with them. Like that would just be so much fun. But also doing it for sports would be fun. I don't know, just doing my own thing. I kind of just want to do my own thing, but also I wouldn't mind working for a company if I was happy and I liked it and I liked my job. I'm very open. The whole point of this is saying that I just don't know what I want to do. Even if that is in film or music or something else, I don't know what I want to do. So I just thought I should say that. My freshman year of college was really, 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 really good. And then obviously COVID hit, and that kind of, turned everything upside down like it did everyone else. And it put me in a really, really, really bad place because I went from being on top of the world to obviously at the bottom. COVID really messed up a lot of people's plans, especially mine. I went from going to college and having the time of my life to doing school online and being completely miserable, wishing and wanting to have my life back, and knowing that that would probably never happen again made me even more miserable and sad. And no, I wasn't like depressed during this time. I was just more, I don't know, I guess unhappy with life. And I know that sounds like being depressed, but trust me, I wasn't, because there was still a lot of stuff that I was happy about. And I was doing my own thing at home, and I had my own routines, and I was doing good for the most part. But I mean, everyone has those days where they just are in a rut. Like, I was definitely in a COVID rut for a very long time because I had no structure in my life. I hated online school. Absolutely hated it. I was not thriving at all. When sophomore year started, I was taking a lot of classes in the fall, and then spring of 2021, so last spring, I hated online school so much, so I decided to become a part-time student and only take 2 classes. And even to this day, I cannot decide if that was a good thing or a bad thing, because I thought that taking 2 classes would make me a lot happier, but it did the opposite, because I had a lot more free time to do nothing and to be in my own head and to be alone, because I was living in an apartment with one other person, and we were just doing our own stuff. And like, she was in like full-time student mode, and I was only in 2 classes. So it meant I had a lot of time to do nothing. And I also didn't have a job. I was barely in school. So I was just with myself for a long time. And it got so bad that I had to move back home in around April of 2021. And then I spent the summer at my house, which I actually had a pretty good summer. And then I went into junior year. So this last fall and last spring, I was a junior. And I mean, as you know, this is kind of when the world opened a lot more up, because we actually went back to school and life was looking a lot more normal, even though it still isn't normal now, but it was a lot less normal than it was now, even though we were doing stuff. And I definitely had fun. Like, yeah, junior year was fun, but also it had a lot of ups and downs, a lot of downs. It was a roller coaster. Honestly, the past 2 years, ever since COVID started, life has been a big fat roller coaster of ups, downs, highs and lows, good and bad days. And I guess that takes me to why I wanted to start this podcast, because like I already said, I really enjoy talking, and I don't really have that many people to talk to, but I want to just showcase my experiences through life, because the past 2 years staying home a lot has really taught me the value of slowing down and just analyzing everything. And even though I was already doing that, it just made me do it so much more and appreciate it so much more, especially finding myself. I have figured out so much about myself, so much in the past 2 years. And yes, I know a lot of people can say that, but I just feel like a different person, and I want to share and help others. And that's one of my goals in life right now. Like, all I want to do is inspire people, help people, and just share anything, whether that be through creativity, which is why I love music and film, and I love fashion. I just love expressing myself creatively about anything. Like, I just love creatively expressing myself and showing that to the world. And that is what I want to do. And I also want to share my wisdom and just my thoughts and opinions on anything. And so for this podcast, I want to just inspire you and help you and share my wisdom, get you to be inspired, and then share that with others. And it could just be like this chain effect. But I also want to talk about anything that I just want to talk about that's on my mind, whether that be friends or just a random topic, like a movie that I watched or a concept that I was thinking about. Like, I really just want to talk about anything, but obviously focusing on how to romanticize your life and make it better and more fulfilling and be happier and just love life. You know what? You don't even have to be that happy, just so you can make every day a little bit better and find more meaning and purpose with your life and discover yourself more. And actually, I know I said I figured myself out during quarantine. Like, yes, I did. But I really don't believe in finding yourself. I believe in creating yourself. Because how do you even find yourself? What are you looking for? What are you finding? And when you do find that person, do you just stay that person? Like, no. You can create yourself. Instead of sitting and waiting to find yourself, why don't you get up and actually create yourself? If you want to change, then change. If you want to write a book, write a book. If you want to be kinder, then be kinder. Don't wait and try to find yourself. I would say start creating yourself now and don't wait. I'll definitely get into that more in a later episode, but that's just a little taste of what you can get here. And I really hope you'll stick around and follow me on this journey. I know this was very rough. I stop a lot. I say a lot. I say like a lot. I stutter a lot, and that's something you're just going to have to get used to because I do stutter. I don't know why. I have a hard time expressing words. Like, it's true. I do. I'm just like that. It's because I'm always thinking about things. My brain is moving faster than my mouth, and I don't know what to say next. My mind jumps topics so much. So that's just something you're going to have to get used to. But it's fine. That just means that something's always moving back there. I don't know what it is, but it's always moving. I really hope that you stay and follow me and subscribe and like and leave a review. Everything that you have to do with podcasts. See, I just did it right there. God, I can't stop. Jeez. I had fun making this. I have been putting it off for months. I actually bought this mic in April. I bought this in April and it is June 19th and I'm just now recording this first episode because I was just putting it off and I was scared. And I am scared. Just talking to a microphone is very weird for me right now. But I know I'll get more used to it because this has been my dream to start a podcast. And I'm just so happy that I did it. And I'm so excited for future episodes. So excited. I have a list. I did all the research, okay? I'm not just like going in blind. I did so much research. I have a notes app section on my phone just about everything relating to this. I designed everything and made the name like a long time ago. I know I'm just now recording, but we all gotta start somewhere, and I started today, and I'm really happy that you listened. I think I'm gonna end it here. So I'll see you next week. I don't know exactly what days I'm gonna post, but I'll keep you in the loop. I'm thinking about, actually, I don't know. Stay tuned for the days that I post, but I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a great day, and I hope life is going great. And if it's not going great, it'll get better tomorrow. I promise. Just stay in there. And bye.